What's up, guys? Alright, so in this video I'm going to explain everything that I have learned about Skillshare. There's a couple big mistakes I made in the very beginning and I got lucky, because it turns out Skillshare is actually one of the easier course teaching platforms to get banned on. As far as I know, compared to like Lynda and Udemy and Teachable, Skillshare is the one that you are most likely to get in trouble and get banned on. And this is something I had no idea about prior to me getting involved in Skillshare. So for those of you watching, if you're thinking of just like you have a course already somewhere else and you just want it to be available on another marketplace, I don't actually recommend that you use Skillshare, because Skillshare really doesn't want you to be doing that. They want you to be using their platform and having a course. It really, as a platform, Skillshare is my current favorite learning platform, because teaching on Skillshare and engaging with the community and your students kind of comes hand in hand. And now, especially that I'm doing this month where I'm doing one different Skillshare course every single day, I'm really starting to understand what it is that Skillshare wants from their instructors. So that being said, we need to start with making sure that you understand what a Skillshare course is and what it looks like and how it feels, okay? So I'm going to show you an example of a Skillshare course. This is a course that I'm taking right now. It's like a suggested Skillshare course by a very well-known person, really short, 30 minutes, right? And it's about public speaking, okay? And I finished the course. But this is maybe the first time you're looking at a Skillshare course, so let's kind of break things down here. You can see at the top we have all of our navigation menus, and I can zoom out a little bit. This is typical. It's going to be the same regardless of where you are in Skillshare's website. There's also going to be this banner here to encourage you to share 2 months of Skillshare Premium, and if you want to sign up for Skillshare, check out the link in my description. You get 60 days for free and all of the courses on Skillshare. It's pretty dope, to be honest. So then, because I've already gotten through some of this course, I've watched the whole course. This prompt to review the course will show up after you, I think it's like 3 lessons, or after you put in like 8 minutes or whatever. Okay? This prompt is going to show up asking you how to review, if you want to review the course, and that's normal. It's actually also going to show up when you watch your own course, okay? So then you can see that this is the main format of the course. We have a video here, and that's how you watch the videos, and then you can pick the videos that you're watching here. You can see how long each video is. And then below, we have the community section. And this is the most important part for you to understand. Skillshare really, really wants all courses to focus on teaching the student how to create something in specific that can be shared with the community. Okay, and this is the big difference, in my opinion, from Skillshare and the other platforms. They focus more on this. All the other platforms encourage this, but you can absolutely have like a successful course on Udemy that doesn't have a single assignment for the student. Like, that's completely feasible. Whereas on Skillshare, it's actually against policy to not have a project. You have to have a project. And Skillshare actually looks at the amount of people engaging with your project and measures that as a metric. If they notice that in your course there is a very high rate of people participating in your project, this drastically increases the chance that Skillshare is going to push your course. So when you are creating courses for Skillshare, you have to create them with this in mind. And that being said, it's okay to have a course on another platform and then to use some of that content and also create a Skillshare course. But again, if you want to just post a course to Skillshare because you already have it available somewhere else and you have no intention of using Skillshare, I don't recommend this. And it's kind of ironic because this is the mentality that I came onto Skillshare with, because I had a Udemy course already and I was like, oh, Skillshare seems kind of cool. I'll make a Skillshare version of it. And at first I started doing things, and then I realized it was like, I should really just remake a lot of these videos, make them shorter, and make it specific to Skillshare, okay? And I learned a couple things. My first course got banned, and then I had to do some changes, and I'm going to share everything with you guys. But before I get into my personal experience, I need to make sure that you guys understand what Skillshare really is. And that's why I'm talking to you about this course, right? So you can see here, we went over the video. You can navigate the video. Again, it's a 33-minute course. If you watch that on like 2x or 1.5 speed, it's even faster than that, right? A lot of these courses you can do in 20 to 30 minutes, and you learn some really awesome stuff. So most people will just watch. They won't participate. But again, Skillshare wants participation. So this is the first tab of a course, and we're going to go over through all of these. And the About tab is pretty generic. It's just going to show you, okay, a description of what the course is about. And then if you scroll down, you can see all of the class projects, okay? And these are going to be ordered here based on the highest amount of engagement. You can see that this one has 192 likes. This one has 187, 38, 34. It's literally organized by likes at this point. But if you go over to the All Projects section, then you can see that it is organized by most recent as the default, whereas you could change it to trending, or you could change it to most liked, and both of these really are basically the same. Most recent will be the default, okay? So people can also post reviews, they can post questions, then they can click on this section, and this is going to show a text form of what the class project is. And again, it's really important that you understand this perspective, because this is what your students are going to be seeing. If you don't know what your students are seeing, you can't make an effective Skillshare course, okay? So we're going to scroll down, and you can see a text description of what the project is. And then if you go to your project, so I already did a project here. Normally, if you, the link here would say create your project. So you would click on this big box, and then you can go to a page, and you're essentially creating a blog post for this class's project area, and it will also show up in your instructor profile, okay? So in this course that I just took, the project is to make a 3 to 4 minute video where you are trying to just speak about a specific concept to people, okay? So for me, because I make YouTube videos, it was really easy to just whip something out really quickly, right? And so what I did is I did a video about believing in yourself, and ultimately the takeaway is that everybody's insecure, and don't let insecurity stop you. You should just believe in yourself, right? So we can, we don't need to watch this, it's fine. And I also have a text version of this, right? And so I just posted this, and if anybody wants to, they can comment, like, and find you, that kind of thing, right? So this brings up a point that I want you to understand. Now that we've gone over what a Skillshare course looks like, I need to talk about how easy it is to get banned on Skillshare and explain why this is, okay? But first, let me give you a moment. I'm just going to be quiet for a second so that you can catch up. You know, I understand sometimes I talk too quickly. And so again, we have established this is what the course process looks like from the student's perspective. Once they've picked a course, this is what they're going to see. They're going to see this. They can full screen it if they want to. I actually don't watch courses in full screen just because it makes me feel like I'm on YouTube. I'd rather see what's coming up next, and also be able to read this while I'm bored if like while I'm listening to what the person's talking about, but I don't want to watch exactly the video, right? And again, this perspective is really important to understand, okay? So now let me explain the easy ways to get banned on Skillshare. So when you create a Skillshare course, the most important thing that you understand is that Skillshare does not like it when you talk about money. And at first I thought this was absurd, but now that I've gotten to know Skillshare better and I've read more about why this is, I really understand, and it is something that I really believe in because it's a philosophy that I operate on my YouTube channel. And so it's not that Skillshare thinks that it's bad to talk about money. What Skillshare doesn't want is for you to make a course, show people, yo, I make $10,000, so do what I do. They don't want that. They want courses that specifically teach a certain thing. They want a course that creates a student that creates a project. That is their goal. And when you talk too much about money, that makes people, it increases the chance that the student is going to have a bad experience, because the reality is the student's not going to have the same experience you had. So yeah, maybe you earn $10,000 doing this, but the student's not going to. Maybe 1 in 1,000 students will, but the reality is the vast majority of these students will not experience what you experienced. And Skillshare understands this, and it understands that from the student's perspective, the subject of money, when it's presented in the wrong way, will alienate students and decrease the student's experience with the class. It's going to increase the chance of the student giving up, because the student thinks, oh, this person was able to make this money straight away. I haven't made anything. There's something wrong. This is bullshit. I'm done. Skillshare doesn't want that, okay? Now, don't be too scared, because it is okay to talk about profiting from your endeavors, but you have to be very careful about the wording and the language that you use to talk about earning money in your Skillshare courses, okay? So I can give you a little bit of advice about that. But first, the easiest thing to understand is you cannot have any reference to money in your title. You cannot use the word money, the word monetize, the word profit, income even. You should avoid all of this. You can get in trouble 3 times on Skillshare and then you get banned. So I already got in trouble once, and I've only been a teacher for a week, okay? You have to be careful, and I wish that I had read more about this before publishing my Skillshare course, which is why I'm making this video. I want you guys who are interested in creating Skillshare courses to be able to know all of this so that you can get started without making these basic mistakes that I made that got me in trouble, okay? So now I'm going to read the email feedback about the course, okay? Because we've gone over the main thing, which is don't have money words in your title. It's okay to talk in your course about earning money as long as it's not the focus of your course. So you cannot start your course with showing metrics. Skillshare doesn't like this. Your course should start with an introduction video that shows the student exactly what the course is teaching them and what the project is about. The video shows what the student will learn, not trying to convince the student that you are worth learning from. You can just forget about that and not even do it. Just make a really good course, okay? So one other thing before I get into the emails that I have with Skillshare is that there are prohibited subjects. For example, you cannot have products, you can't have a course on Skillshare that is about dropshipping, which is relevant because like all of my money on Udemy comes from a dropshipping course. So you literally can't even have a dropshipping course on Skillshare. You also can't have any kind of course that shows people, like focuses on passive income too much, or shows like, oh, how to get 10,000 Instagram followers in a week. This, for example, isn't allowed on Skillshare. You have to teach more, you really have to vibe with the whole, we are trying to educate people, not trying to just get clicks and get that attention. And Skillshare is very picky as a marketplace. There are plenty of instructors who have gotten banned from Skillshare. It absolutely is a more picky marketplace. And this is one of the reasons that I want to work with them, because I think that they really understand what makes a good course marketplace and how to foster a really healthy learning environment. This is something that I relate to, and it's possible that, you know, after a year or two I'm going to get banned because I'm going to make more mistakes. I hope that doesn't happen, but I view it as a risk worth taking because I really relate to what Skillshare says. And while at first I was angry, now I understand why Skillshare is so picky, and I think that it makes sense because it makes them different than a lot of other marketplaces. Okay? So now that we've amassed that, you understand there are restricted topics. You also must follow community guidelines. make sure that you read all of these. So you want to make sure you read the community guidelines document, also the class guidelines document, and then also the terms of use for Skillshare. Make sure you read all 3 of these things before you publish your course, okay? You can be working on your course and then read them, because if you have a course that isn't published yet and it has a violation in it, you won't get in trouble for that, so don't worry about it. Just be careful with publishing your course. You want to make sure that you are confident that your course is solid before you publish it. It's okay to add it and work on it later, but just make sure that there's no violations within the course. And so if you feel worried about this, don't worry, because you can literally just email Skillshare, and it may take them 2 or 3 days, but they will watch your entire course in response to your email and tell you everything that you need to fix. You can easily get a Skillshare employee to do this for you. However, it is important to understand that they aren't necessarily just going to do this for you without you communicating with them. If you reach out to Skillshare, they will work with you, but you have to reach out preventatively, okay? And also understand it may take them 48 hours or 3 days to get back to you, because chances are they actually will watch your entire course and give you some really solid, useful feedback, okay? And this is important because Skillshare gives you the ability to just publish a course. They don't review it until it gets flagged by software or by other users. So it's really important, until you're confident in what a Skillshare course is, that you communicate with Skillshare before you publish your course to make sure that you are operating the way that they want and your course is designed from the Skillshare or with the Skillshare perspective in mind. Okay? So that being said, now let's look at this email interaction I had. So I said, hey there, I'm a new instructor on Skillshare, and I'm really excited to make more courses. I made a course recently, but it was actually taken down and I got in trouble because the word monetization was in the title. I did not realize that you can not talk about this directly in courses on Skillshare, but I understand that now. I have redone the course and removed the focus from money and tried to think of it from a Skillshare perspective. Before redoing the course, I took a few Skillshare courses, and this helped me better understand what Skillshare expects. Now I have finished my edits and I have uploaded everything to my new draft course titled Run a YouTube Channel Without Editing. However, before I continue, I want to be absolutely certain that there isn't anything wrong with the course so that I don't get in trouble again. I have a project, I have an outline, the course has an introduction, and there is no reference to earning money in the course title or description. So I think I'm okay, but I want to make sure, because if I keep getting in trouble, I could lose my ability to create Skillshare courses before I even begin. And then I shared what my Skillshare account is. Because if you do this, the Skillshare person can look at your unpublished course, whereas normally nobody can see it because it's not published yet. But if you give the Skillshare employee your account email, then they can look at the course from your perspective and see it before it gets published, okay? And so we can see that I sent this email February 18th at 9:51 a.m. and I received a response at February 19th at 6:47 p.m. So roughly 36 hours later, okay? And the response was, hey Jack, thanks for getting in touch. I'm sorry that you had some trouble with our moderation team. In terms of our community guidelines, it looks all good to go. Thank you for making an effort to understand the Skillshare perspective. For future reference, you can help your students figure out how to profit from their YouTube channel. Just make sure to be careful not to promise any specific results and completely avoid the word money. For inspiration on how to talk about profiting from creative work, check out Make a Living as an Artist, Strategies for Creating Your Creative Business, or Crafting Your Creative Business. So this Skillshare employee gave me an example of a course that directly talks about profiting in Skillshare's language, okay? And that is this course right here. And it's a course, it's a 2-hour course, has over 2,000 students. That's pretty good. It's also a staff pick, which is like courses that Skillshare really admires, and they think embody what they want out of Skillshare, okay? So then they gave me some additional feedback, okay? And this is after this is what enabled me to see, okay, they they actually watched my course because they gave me feedback that's relevant to videos throughout the course, right? So they said, in terms of your most recent update, here are some recommendations to help you achieve success on Skillshare. Students take classes to address a specific goal or need. To help students identify why they should take your class, think about the following. Identify your audience. Who is your class most relevant for? For example, is it aimed at entrepreneurs or hobbyists? Are they tech savvy or digitally illiterate? Outline their goals and how your class will help them achieve them. This could be just to profit from a creative hobby, reach new clients and audiences, or anything else that you feel your class achieves. Be clear about the purpose. Let your students know why your class is important. What unique value is your class offering? Your class doesn't need to be for everybody. The more specific you can be about what goals can be achieved through the class, the easier it will be for students to know why they should take it. Once you've identified your core value, you should make this clear across your title, description, class image, and introduction video. I'd recommend keeping your introduction within 1 to 2 minutes. Think of it as a trailer to your class. It should communicate all the important information while sticking to the key points. You can go into more detail about why your class is important in your class description section. Also include a personal introduction so that students can get to know you and why you are an expert in what you are teaching. Tell them a little bit about your own YouTube channel so that they can get a feel for your own work. I would also recommend recording with a fixed camera, as shaky video, particularly in the introduction section, will lower your chances of getting your class featured. Lastly, make sure that your lesson titles clearly communicate what is in the lesson without being too long. We appreciate when teachers pay attention to these details. Let me know if you need anything else. So, this caused me to change some things that I had done with my course. One, I'd made an introduction video, but it was just me like holding the camera with my typical like selfie style, which is shaky, and talking for like 3 or 4 minutes, which is too long. So I redid it, and I used a fixed camera and recorded like a 1 minute 30-second video, and then I edited the video so that there were some scene transitions, and then I showed what the student would be seeing in the course itself. So I basically like scrolled through the course in the introduction video while talking about like, okay, this is section 1 and you're gonna learn this, and this is section 2 and you're gonna learn this, and in section 3 you'll learn this. And that was the introduction video, okay? So try and make the introduction videos short. And I guess I could actually show you guys my introduction video to my Skillshare course, because if you're watching this far into the video, you want to make Skillshare courses or at least learn about them, right? So I can show you the video so you get a little bit of insight here. If I Google Skillshare Jack Pittman, my Udemy course comes up first. That's pretty funny. Okay, so here we go. We can watch this intro video real quick, the course introduction, see 1 minute and 24 seconds, and this will just give you guys some feedback of just a basic introduction. I didn't put tons of time into this. It took me like an hour or something like that in total, including making the first one and revising things, which is a lot for me, but it really isn't that much time, right? So first I need to enable the audio so you guys can hear it, but I'm listening to music right now, so I gotta pause that music. And then go over here, enable audio. Okay, now we will watch the introduction video so you guys have a sense of what that is like. I'll change the speed to 1 speed, and here we go.
What's up, guys? My name is Jack Pittman, and I'm here to make you a YouTuber. I've made over 1,000 YouTube videos, and I firmly believe that YouTube is one of the best opportunities available to any of us, because it enables you to make a lifestyle centered around what you love and what you enjoy. What other opportunity presents this? So in this Skillshare course, first there is section 1, and this will be about creating YouTube videos. You will learn 2 different ways to quickly create YouTube videos without doing any kind of editing. This is selfie style recording, and then also tutorial style recording, where you are recording your screen. In section 2, we talk about various different strategies that YouTubers can use to earn some income from their YouTube channel. In section 3, we go over in very specific detail every point of a YouTube video from the YouTuber's creator's perspective. This means from the back end, what are all the different components of a YouTube video that go into making a YouTube experience? Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'm excited to see you in the rest of the course. Ciao!
Alright, so it definitely could use more...
Sorry,
it definitely could use more work. Like, you can tell that, like, I was actually recording through a mirror, so you can see that I hadn't cleaned the mirror and there are all these little like specks of dirt. The camera angle is also sideways and it's not super clear, but it's a quick introduction video, and that's better than it being 4 or 5 minutes, right? So obviously there's always more progress to be made, but I just wanted to share this with you so you guys can get a sense of like, okay, this is basically what Skillshare wants. They want a quick video that's between 1 and 2 minutes that introduces yourself, encourages people, make sure that if the person watches the video, they know exactly what your course teaches. Okay, so that was the example of the introduction video, and now we've talked about some of the community guidelines. So the biggest thing, again, is to avoid using the word money in the title, and also to understand that you can email Skillshare and ask them to review your course before publishing it. That's going to be critical, okay? Make sure that you communicate with Skillshare because it's going to avoid a lot of problems down the road. And now that we've talked about this, I want to deal with the negative opinions that you will find online about Skillshare, okay? Because just like any other opportunity in the world, whenever there is opportunity, you can count and expect that there will be more people saying that it's not opportunity than people saying it is opportunity, okay? So I can find some examples of this by going to YouTube and going, don't use Skillshare, okay? And so I'm going to talk about why these videos exist, okay? So basically what happened with this guy is he was making courses. He has courses on other platforms, and he just put a course on Skillshare and then didn't log into Skillshare, doesn't use Skillshare at all. And he got banned permanently because Skillshare felt, this is Skillshare's trust and safety team. Unfortunately, because we found evidence of the behaviors listed below associated to your account, we've canceled your teacher payment and closed your account. Misrepresentation of enrollment, reviews, referrals, attempts to artificially inflate class rating. The characteristics of the teacher account overlap with the characteristics of student accounts enrolled in their class. The teacher's account is associated to networks of users exhibiting suspicious activity. Okay, so let's talk about this because this is something that happens. Skillshare bans teachers, and sometimes there's nothing that you can do about it. So what can we do as Skillshare instructors to make sure that we're preventing this from happening? And there is one specific thing that is most relevant, and that is to use Skillshare as a student. If Skillshare sees that you are engaged, you are posting projects, you are posting questions, you are watching courses and consuming content, and you also have courses, they are way, way, way less likely to ban you. But from the perspective of Skillshare, so this guy made a course, published it to Skillshare, and then he says in this video that he never even logged back into Skillshare. He only logged in to make the course and then never used the platform. So from Skillshare's perspective, you see this course that has been pulled from another website, and the teacher is not engaging with students. There is no participation from the teacher as a student in other courses. It looks like they are just trying to use Skillshare as another platform for their existing audience. And Skillshare doesn't like that, right? So you need to be aware of this perspective as a possible Skillshare instructor. And if you are taking classes on Skillshare, this drastically decreases the chance that Skillshare is going to flag you in some way, okay? You have to be careful with this kind of stuff and make sure it's just like any other platform. Like, for example, if you're trying to dropship on eBay or on Amazon or whatever, the best way to make a good selling account is to start buying. Start using the service as the base user. Establish a history showing the algorithm that you look like a normal person. Okay? It's the difference between logging into Skillshare, taking some courses, and publishing a course and publishing some projects versus just logging into Skillshare, creating a course, and ditching. Okay? It's really important that you guys understand this because you can find a lot of evidence of people getting banned from Skillshare. That does happen. However, in most of these situations, you can tell in the person's demeanor they are angry. They feel justified. They are defensive. They don't fully understand the situation that led to them getting banned, right? For example, this person's response is literally like, okay, Skillshare says this, and then the person responds, hey, what's this about? My course has already been running successfully on other sites and my personal website and the YouTube channel. What is this you are saying? Okay, so this is interesting because this YouTuber is trying to defend themselves, but they are actually just reinforcing that Skillshare was right to ban them because the user, this YouTuber doesn't understand what Skillshare wants. Okay. Skillshare doesn't want you to have just an identical course that's available somewhere else. And it's actually against Skillshare policy to have a course on Skillshare if the course is free somewhere else. You can technically have a course that is paid somewhere else and also have the same course on Skillshare. That is technically okay. But Skillshare wants you to cater your course towards Skillshare's vision, okay? It's really important as an instructor on Skillshare, you understand Skillshare's perspective, all right? And so now let me think, is there anything else that you guys need to understand about creating a Skillshare course? Because I want this video to be completely thorough. I know it's long, but I want it to just dump everything that I've learned about creating Skillshare courses into this one video. So that brings to mind payments. How do we get paid? This is quite relevant, isn't it? So you can see that this course, for example, has 33 minutes of content, okay? You can also see that there is a referral program. Give your friends 2 free months of Skillshare Premium and earn free months when they sign up, all right? If we go to Teach, we can click on Your Teacher Stats. And I'm going to show you so you can start to understand how exactly Skillshare pays out, okay? There are 2 ways that they pay, and that is based on referrals and also based on minutes watched. So, anytime that you refer a student to Skillshare, you will get $10, okay? That means that anytime somebody looks at your profile and signs up through your link, you will earn $10, even though they're just signing up for a free trial. They will have to provide credit card information, but they won't be charged until the end of the 60-day period, okay? And even if they cancel, you will still get the $10 as far as I understand. So that is method 1. And this is great because if you have an existing audience, you can monetize your Skillshare use very quickly by just talking about Skillshare and using it, because Skillshare is going to pay you for the referrals that you bring in. All right? So that is the first way that you get paid. The second way is based on minutes consumed. All right? So you can see here that since I've started on Skillshare, people have watched 79 minutes of my courses. This means that I will be paid for 79 minutes worth of engagement on Skillshare. Skillshare doesn't have a set metric for how much you get paid per minute. The way it works is that Skillshare has a bunch of subscribers. That is bringing in revenue to Skillshare as a company. Roughly 30 or 40% of that revenue goes to their instructors. So you get paid a percentage of the global minutes watched on Skillshare. Imagine that there are 100 minutes being watched, barely anything. If I got 79 minutes, that means that I would earn 79% of that 40% that Skillshare is paying to its instructors. So the payment that you receive is based on two factors, which is the amount of minutes that people are watching your courses and also Skillshare's current performance. If there are 20,000 people paying $15 a month, you get a percentage of that. It's not a set amount of money, okay? So it's going to fluctuate. But all that you need to understand is that there's two ways to get paid. You get paid through referrals, and this is going to be straight away, like as soon as you get referrals, then it starts racking up. And then also you get paid based on minutes watched. All right? So well, now that you understand that, that's how you earn money. Okay? So we've gone over how to earn money. We've gone over getting banned. I can go over a little bit about what it looks like when you are navigating Skillshare from the creating a course perspective. But really quick, I need to respond to somebody on Skype. Okay, so from the teaching perspective, if you go to classes you're teaching, it'll show you the published courses. You could also click new class here. This is going to take you straight to the video lesson section. And here, all you do is just upload the videos. And I haven't had any issues uploading FLV or MP4 files. It's actually been very smooth. I haven't had any problems at all with uploading the videos to Skillshare. Whereas on Udemy, it was a little bit finicky sometimes, and I would have to redo things. But here, it's been fine. So you can click on this to upload your videos, and then click here for the areas that you're going to upload your class description, your class project, and then also any resources that are going to be available during your course. Okay? And that's pretty much everything. So if you guys want updates, just let me know. Comment on this video or send me an email. And if you want to use Skillshare, sign up with my link in the description. I really am interested in Skillshare. I know that it is possible I will get banned at some point because I make mistakes and who knows, but I really think that they have an interesting perspective on learning. And I like how kind of finicky they are about who their instructors are. They're not worried about banning you if you don't understand the Skillshare perspective. And that is kind of interesting because a lot of places are just like, whatever, you're making courses, okay, cool. So just food for thought, right? All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ciao!